In this episode of Irrelevant Baseball Stats That Mean Something, we're going to talk about pitcher wins and losses, with an emphasis on the latter. In 2010, Joe Saunders led all of baseball with 17 losses. In 2014, it was A.J. Burnett with 18 losses. In 2016, Chris Archer and James Shields both lost a whopping 19 games. And in 2021, Luis Castillo of the Cincinnati Reds and Patrick Corbin of the Washington Nationals were both at the bottom of the leaderboard with 16 Ls. What does that mean exactly? To me, not that much. Personally, I think a pitcher's record is silly. When I'm looking at a player's stats to determine just how valuable he is, I never, and I mean never, look at wins or losses. It's a stat that's dying, albeit slowly, kind of like Boromir in Lord of the Rings. A few years ago, noted sabermetrician Bill James asked baseball fans what they thought about pitcher wins, and the majority of his followers chose the meaningless option. Now, I would say the casual fan still believes they're important, but there's no arguing that a pitcher's record loses more and more value every year. Just look at some recent Cy Young Award winners. Jacob deGrom won the Cy Young in 2018 with a 10-9 record. He won it again the following year with an 11-8 record. Felix Hernandez took home the award with just one more win than loss. Pitcher wins just aren't important anymore. But are losses. Let's talk about the New York Mets for a second. You know, the franchise who just can't seem to figure it out. Since baseball was integrated in 1947, the most losses in a single season by a pitcher is 24. That record is actually owned by two players, Roger Craig and Jack Fisher. And both of them, yes, both of them, pitched for, you guessed it, the New York Mets. Roger Craig went 10-24 in 1962, and Jack Fisher followed that up 3 years later by going 8-24. Not surprisingly, the Mets lost a combined 232 games in those two seasons, an MLB worst. Yeah, they were not good. But here's the thing about Roger Craig and Jack Fisher. They were not nearly as horrible as their record suggests. Craig had a 4.5 ERA that season, and while, admittedly, that's not great, it doesn't really warrant 24 losses. In fact, Craig is one of just 13 players since integration to put up at least 3 WAR in a 20-loss season. And Fisher was actually quite good when he lost 24 games. He threw 253 innings and posted an ERA under 4. He just played for a lousy Mets team that couldn't give him any run support. Doesn't that sound a bit like Jacob deGrom? Switching gears to this current season, Patrick Corbin, yeah, him again, leads all of baseball with 15 losses, though rookie Hunter Greene is behind him with 12 of his own. The all-time record for losses by a rookie in a season since integration is 20. Will Greene and his homer-happy pitching style reach that mark? We will just have to find out. Losses. Are they an irrelevant stat? Or do they mean something? That's for you to decide.